When most people think of Moab, they picture Jeeps crawling over boulders and rocky trails, scraping sandstone. But Moab's more than that. It's a playground for anyone bold enough to show up. Some folks say it's no place for a Ford Raptor. Too wide, too heavy, too long. But every year, a herd of Raptors descend upon Moab to prove them wrong. For 5 years straight, the sound of Ford Raptors have echoed through the canyons, charging up Hurrah Pass, carving around chicken corners, and boogieing across red sand 2 tracks and desert washes. 3 days of red rock, blue skies, and pure throttle therapy. This is where strangers become friends, trucks earn their keep, and adventure begins the moment the pavement ends. This is Raptors on the Rocks. Hey everyone, I'm Tara or TJ. Welcome back to my channel, CocoTreks, your spot for Ford Raptor adventures, trail reviews, and a whole lot of outdoor fun. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other Moab videos where I talk about just one trail. I'm talking about my favorite event of the year, Raptors on the Rocks. Now, this is going to be a lot of me talking, but it's not going to be just a talking head here. I've got tons of pictures and videos from the last 5 years since the event started in 2021, and I've been able to attend each year. And it's one of those events that I highly recommend putting on your list to do. In this video, I really want to give you a sense of what Raptors on the Rocks is all about. The vibe, the driving experiences, the trails, scenery, logistics, and some tips for any newcomers. So I appreciate you being here, and please hit like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So what is Raptors on the Rocks? Well, it's what it sounds like. It's an annual off-road event in Moab, Utah, focused on the Ford Raptor. F-150 Raptor, Bronco Raptor, Ranger Raptor, but it's not just for Raptors. We've had T-Rexes out, and I think some large or full-size SUVs and trucks, so you don't have to have a Raptor to be there, but just know the majority of people there are going to have Ford Raptors. Up until this year, it's been a 3-day event starting on a Friday, ending on Sunday. This year, an extra day was added, so it started on a Thursday, ending up on a Sunday. Unknown if that 4-day format will stick, but I'm pretty sure it will. This event is hosted and organized by Chuck Yarborough and his amazing family and some of the Raptor family. And Chuck is the one behind Raptor Addiction, Addiction Raptor, Addiction Bronco, Utah Raptor Runs, and Chuck is just an amazing guy. And he's one of the reasons why I want to make it a point to come out every year, because I love supporting him, and he is just an amazing person, and I'm happy to be able to call him a friend. The first ever Raptors on the Rocks was actually over Halloween in 2021, and it's just funny. All the Colorado crew, we planned ahead and brought costumes out, and that Sunday was Halloween day, so we all dressed up, surprised everybody at the location that we check into, and it was just funny, and it made that that first year, very special. Since that year, starting in 2022, the event did move to Mother's Day in May. And yes, Chuck is trying to move the event off of that weekend because we know it can be maybe a conflict with some of you married guys out there. Also, in that first year in 2021, 20 trucks registered, and I think half of them were our Colorado crew. But this year in 2025, 80 trucks registered, so it's grown quite a bit since the first year, and it's expected to continue to grow. The check-in location, or the base location for this event, has been the old Spanish Trail Arena on the south side of Moab. There's been talks of maybe moving that elsewhere to make it a little bit more accommodating to more trucks and the growth of this event. But as of now, based off of what I know, the arena will be the location for the 2026 event. Shifting a bit to the event organization, there will be an email sent out 2 or maybe even 1 week ahead of the event itself, covering the basic logistics, meeting time, meeting place, map, GPX files, that sort of thing. It may come within a week of the event, but just be patient for that email to be sent out, but it will be sent out with the basic information that you need to know for the event. Each morning of the event, you are required to go to the check-in location or the arena. On that first day of the event, that's where you sign all the waivers, insurance, get your goodie bag, including your numbered placard, raffle tickets, t-shirt, and some other little goodies. The first day check-in process has gotten a lot better as the years have progressed. However, the check-in line, especially on that first day and some of the other days, can still be long. So please plan accordingly and get there with plenty of time to check in and do all the things before the departure time of the day. Each morning is also when you get to pick the trail that you want to do that day. Yes, you get to pick which trail you do each day, and there will be a sign-up sheet for each trail offered that day. So you and your passengers need to physically sign those sign-up sheets. The sign-up sheets also have the trail leader, so if you're looking to do a trail with a specific person, the trail leader's name will be listed on the sign-up sheet, as well as a color that corresponds to a flag that you stage at out in the parking lot that I'll talk about in just a second. And if you have any questions on the trails or getting checked in or anything, there will be staff there to help you. After you sign and do all the paperwork on that first day, we try to jam as many trucks as we can into the arena. It just provides for some cool videos, picture ops, that sort of thing, with all the trucks in there in the arena. And we also get a rollout video of everyone leaving out of the arena to go out on the trail that day. But before we roll out, we hold a mandatory safety briefing that first day. We typically don't have them on the subsequent days, so if you miss that first day safety briefing, please get with Chuck to get the information, because there's some important information that needs to be provided to you. But yes, we go over safety, the do's and the don'ts, what the permit, yes, we do have to get a permit for this event, what the permit requires us to do or not do. So it's really important that you attend that briefing on the first day or get the information from Chuck later on. So as I mentioned, to get organized to roll out on the trail each day, out in the front parking lot, there are colored flags that are associated with the different trails offered that day. Usually the trail leader's truck is parked next to the flag in the front of the line. So just line up single file line behind the colored flag associated with the trail that you signed up for. So what I do is I go down the line, make sure that everyone has signed the sign-up sheet, that we have everybody that's signed up. I give you the radio frequency that will be on for communications, and make sure that you have the map file as well. Once we have everybody, we get rolling and head out on the trail for the day. Usually we roll out around 9:30 or so. The mornings are a little bit fluid and it's a little bit later that first morning with all the safety briefings and everybody getting settled, but we are typically out on the trail all day. I would say most of the groups get back around 4 or so. That's kind of dependent on if mechanical issues or something else happens out on the trail, which has happened. But typically for planning purposes, we get back around 4 p.m. So plenty of time to clean up, shower, and get ready for dinner. On one of the nights, usually Friday or maybe it's Saturday, we do a night run. And what we've done in the past is we go up to Hurrah Pass, which is how you get out to Chicken Corners. And you have just amazing views up there. Even at nighttime, it just provides a great view of the sky. We've timed it sometimes to where we go up there during sunset, so seeing all the sunset views up there is just absolutely incredible. Seeing everybody's lights and the off-road lights reflecting off the rocks up there is just a really, to me, special event. So we do a night run up there and then head back into town for the evening. And then on Saturday, there is barbecue catering that's brought into the arena. We've got chairs and tables set up for all of that. So you have dinner there at the arena on Saturday night. Then after dinner, we do a raffle. Again, a couple tickets are provided to you in the goodie bag, but you do have the opportunity to buy more raffle tickets up until the time of the raffle. And things that have been included in the raffle before include tires, suspension components, bumper bars, apparel, accessories, some Cobb stuff that have been provided in the past, gift certificates for different things. So there's some pretty good things that are provided in that raffle. And then Sunday is typically an abbreviated day. We know most people are going to be heading home that day if they haven't left already. But Sunday is a little bit more fluid on what trails that we do that day because there's usually less number of people there. And then after the trails on Sunday, it's time to cry and head home because you're leaving your friends and Moab. All right, let's talk about the vibe of the event. Now, I've been to my fair share of Raptor events all over the country. No, I haven't been to every single one. No, I don't know the vibe of every single group.
Not saying that I'm a know-it-all or anything.
But based off of what I've seen, because it's just a mix of people coming from different locations, it has the best vibes. And by vibes, what do I mean? I just mean an open, welcoming community of people there to experience, explore, appreciate Moab for what it is, and off-road. Everyone doesn't immediately start in on the measuring contests of what accessories or mods that you have on the truck. There's absolutely still talking and teasing and sarcastic remarks that are just prevalent in the community but it's all in good fun. And all in all, I would say that Raptors on the Rocks is pretty non-clicky. Not to say that there aren't cliques, and that's coming from someone who's probably in a clique herself, but you don't have the little pockets of people here and there that kind of stay to themselves at some of the events that I've seen. Everyone mingles, talks to one another, has the opportunity to talk to everybody every morning. So it's just a very open, welcoming group. And I think with the growth every year, that also keeps it, lively and kind of different every year. I would say there's probably about 30% new people every year. And I would say it's a mix of people that have had their trucks for a while, haven't been to Moab, or they just got their trucks in the last 6 months. There are always new people coming in, always new folks, fresh blood, and people that haven't off-roaded yet, and Raptors on the Rocks is their first time doing an off-road event. The scenery of Moab definitely adds to the good vibes of the event. You've got the amazing, red rocks, red cliffs, set against the crystal clear blue skies. Most of the time it's clear out there in May. And you've got the Colorado River winding through the red canyons. You've got areas that look like the moon that we go through on some of the trails, and amazing scenery to where you can just see miles and miles and miles. And overall, Moab is just one of those areas that is just a quintessential Southwestern experience, and the views can just go on for days, and to me, it just never gets old. Moving on to the trails and driving experience, no, it is not all slow going, rock crawly type of trails that we do. Chuck and some of the others have spent quite a bit of time finding the fun, faster paced Raptor type roads out there in and around Moab. And within those trails, you do have quite a bit of variation of terrain. You've got the more graded limestone hard packed roads. You've got red sand 2 tracks that you can get a really good flow going on. We've got sand dunes. They're not big like Glamis or anything, but there are sand dunes out there. There's dry washes that we go back and forth on. There's the red rock like not cliff sides, but more narrower roads that you have to take up to some of the passes like Hurrah Pass. With that said, there are some slower paced roads that have just some amazing views in and of themselves. Onion Creek, like I said, Hurrah Pass going out to Chicken Corners, those are slower paced roads. There are some little cindy sections on them here and there, but the views on those slower paced roads make going on them very much well worth it, in my opinion. And Chuck is also continuing to look for new trails, new areas to add to the event. So hopefully there'll be different trails for you guys that come back every year for you guys to do. I and the Colorado crew were up in Moab a couple weeks ago, and we found some areas and passed it along to Chuck that we thought could be a good add to the event. So we'll see, but definitely look forward to new trails, new areas every single year. Unfortunately, one of the things that impacts the trails that we do are the continual conversations with the BLM around trail closures out there. As of the making of this video, it sounds like some progress is being made, but know that we are impacted by those BLM closures. Okay, regarding logistics, I'll start with lodging. You are responsible for your lodging there at the event, and I would definitely plan in advance as much as you can. If you're coming out with a group of people or some friends, there's plenty of Airbnbs or short-term rentals like that available in Moab. If that's not your thing, there's plenty of hotels, but again, sometimes on the weekends they book up pretty quickly, and the prices can get unreasonable the closer you get to the weekend. So definitely plan in advance. If you're wanting to experience nature a little bit more, there's organized campgrounds in town and outside of town. There's some really cool ones on the Colorado River off of the highway northeast of town that you can check out. But again, those do typically require some advanced planning and reservations. If you want to disperse camp, there's areas every which way from Moab for you to go out and camp underneath the stars, which I think is just one of the most incredible things about Moab, is to experience camping out there. With that though, I will say bring wag bags for your business. It's frowned upon to dig holes out there and bury your stuff. A lot of times you can't dig a hole because there's a layer of rock under there. So plan accordingly for that type of business. If we continue to stage out of the arena, there are bathrooms and showers there for you to use. Moving on to food, all meals except that Saturday night barbecue are also on you. There's lots of really good restaurants in town town, but do know that there's typically a wait on the weekends. So for you hangry folks, that's me. Plan accordingly. Typically there's like a 30-45 minute wait at some of the more popular places on the weekend. And with us being out on the trail all day, bring snacks, bring lunch, bring plenty of water because you are in the desert. And it should go without saying that adult beverages are not allowed on the trail during the event. Gas, there's plenty of gas stations in town. You'll want to gas up every evening or first thing in the morning and have a full tank. You shouldn't need to bring additional gas with you, even if you are spinning the tires a lot. You'll have plenty of gas for all of the trails that we currently do. If somehow that changes and we go a little bit further out from Moab, I'm sure that there'll be refueling spots factored in for you. All right, tips for newcomers or even some of you returnees. First and most importantly, come with a good attitude and be ready to have a good time. Even if you're coming out solo and don't know anyone, again, there's plenty of new people at the event each year. And again, it's just a very open and welcoming group. So don't be nervous. Ask any questions that you may have and they'll be answered. One very important thing for everybody is to not speed through town. Mind the speed limit, even outside of the town limits. When we come to town, if you think about it, 80 Raptors running through town garners a lot of attention, and there's a lot of eyes on us for this event, from the locals, other tourists that are there, city officials, the federal agencies. They all know that we're there and they're looking for us. Chuck does have to get a permit to have this event in the first place, and we don't want to do anything that could jeopardize getting permits or other Raptor groups that come to Moab. We just don't want to create that bad reputation around the Raptor groups. With that said, based off of my experience, the locals there in Moab are very welcoming. The city is centered and built around tourism. Just basically don't do anything stupid. On the first day of the event, I do recommend getting there early, asking what trails are going to be available during the event, and sort of map out which trails that you want to do each day. Because we don't do the same trails every single day, if you have your eyes on certain trails to do, put those in the first couple days of the event to get them done. Understand though that things may change. We always like to have a trail lead and a chase truck for each of the trails and the groups. And based off of popularity of certain things, we may shift things around. So just expect some changes and some fluidity of what's being offered each day. If you are new to off-roading and Raptors on the Rocks is going to be your first real off-road event, a couple things I recommend are chase lights. If you don't want to go the whole full third brake light route, there are some options now to where you just suction cup it on the back of your window. Even if everyone has chase lights though, please do not drive in dust. Allow plenty of space in between the truck in front of you and just don't drive in dust. That could cause some bad things to happen. The other very important thing is a radio for communications. Now, I recommend if you're going to be doing more than just a couple Raptor events is to have a good 50-watt hardwired radio into the truck. There's lots of options. I'm working on some resources for you, but the Raptor groups, they run VHF radios, not GMRS. I know some of the folks coming from the Jeep crew or Toyotas, they run GMRS. We run VHF radios, and most of the radios are pre-programmed or have the ability to tune into the race channels. Again, I'm working on some resources for you. If you have any questions along those lines, let me know in the comments below. But communications and having a radio is very, very important. If you're not going to go the hardwired route, a good handheld like a Baofeng with a long antenna on it will suffice. Just know that you might not catch every single thing. Some of the groups get spread out for miles and miles and miles, again, because of the dust and trying to have proper spacing to where you may miss certain call outs. And that's one of the reasons why we like to have radios and that we have communications in the first place, is that the trail leader is making call outs for different hazards, oncoming vehicles, stops to regroup, etc. So communications is just really important for these events. Have at least one full-size spare, if not two. I've experienced having two tires or two wheels go out at one time. And so have at least one full-size spare, if not two. With that being said, what I've seen quite a few times is people have some really cool looking aftermarket wheels to where you have to get those spline, skinnier lug nuts like the Gorilla nuts, because the stock lug nuts won't fit, but they keep their stock spare. The stock spare, those skinnier lug nuts aren't really well suited for them. And so please just check your lug nut compatibility between the tires and wheels that you have on the truck and your spare. I also recommend everyone having a basic toolkit and a good off-road jack, not just a scissor jack that comes stock on the truck. I could go on and on about tools and spare parts and other things, and I will be going into that in a What's Up Wednesday video coming up very soon. But basically have the basics to change a tire, because that's what we see most of the time happen out there, is someone getting a flat tire. So just be prepared to change a flat tire. With all that said, remember that Moab is not a racetrack. Even though we're there to boogie and have fun on the trails, we are guests and we need to be respectful of others around us, the land, nature, and everything that's out there. Registration for the 2026 Raptors on the Rocks has not opened yet. If you are not already, please be following Raptors on the Rocks Instagram page. So keep your eyes peeled for registration opening here probably pretty quickly in the next month or so, and I will definitely see you there. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week, and until then, get outside and off-road.